For 50 long years, Earth said nothing. No messages, no signals, no starships leaving the solar system. To the rest of the galaxy, it looked like Earth had given up. The Galactic Council, made of many powerful alien empires, watched Earth with curiosity at first. But as time passed, curiosity turned to laughter. "They must be too scared," said a tall blue-skinned alien from the Kareth Empire. "Or too primitive," replied a robotic voice from the mechanical race known as Centauri. A third alien, from the insect-like Sherek hive, clicked its mandibles. "Let them stay quiet. The stars are not for the weak." They all laughed. Earth had joined the galactic community long ago, but after a short time, humans went silent. They stopped responding to messages. They closed their embassies. They disappeared from space. The Council believed Earth had failed. But they were wrong. Deep under Earth's oceans, in secret bases hidden inside mountains, and in dark craters on the far side of the moon, Earth was not silent. Earth was working, planning, preparing. Inside a facility buried under Antarctica, human scientists worked beside advanced machines. Giant computers processed alien data. Soldiers trained day and night in silence, using weapons never seen before. This project had one name: Project Iron Dawn. It began the day Earth went silent. A young commander, General Marilyn, stood in front of a large screen. Her eyes were sharp, her face calm. Behind her, engineers worked quietly. No one spoke unless needed. Every second was important. "We are not hiding," she said to her team. "We are building the future. Let them laugh. They will not laugh for long." Meanwhile, on the moon, a base hidden deep in a crater prepared something powerful. It was called the Eye. It could track any ship in the galaxy. It watched every move the Council made. Earth knew exactly what was happening and what was coming. Back on Earth, in a small underground room, a man in a suit sat alone. His name was Director Halvin. He was not a soldier. He was not a politician. But he led Iron Dawn. He looked at a countdown on his screen. It reached 0. He pressed a single button. Across Earth's secret bases, the same message was sent into deep space. Stage 1, complete. Phase 2 begins. Far away, in the heart of the Galactic Council, a signal was detected. A small robot floated over to a group of aliens. Incoming transmission. From Earth. They all turned in surprise. "What? Earth?" the Jarek leader asked. "It's been 50 years, said the Kareth diplomat. "Why now?" They played the message. Stage 1, complete. Phase 2 begins. That was all. No voice, no explanation. Just a cold, simple message. Suddenly, the Council did not feel like laughing. Back on Earth, General Mara watched the stars through a large window. She spoke to herself, softly, but her voice was full of power. "They thought we were weak. They thought we were afraid. But we were watching, learning, building." Her second-in-command walked in. "Should we warn them?" Mara shook her head. "No, let them wonder. Let them fear." In the skies above, satellites turned toward alien worlds. Human systems activated across the solar system. Drones began silent patrols. Every human base went on full alert. The planet was still quiet, but the silence was not weakness. It was the sound of something coming. Something big. The Galactic Council was no longer laughing. The message from Earth had shocked them. Stage 1, complete. Phase 2 begins. What did it mean? Why now? What were the humans planning? In a cold metal chamber deep inside the Council station, representatives from many alien races gathered to discuss the message. "Maybe it's just a bluff," said the Centauri leader. His voice buzzed like static. "Or maybe they've created something dangerous," whispered the soft, clicking voice of the Zarek Queen. The Kareth ambassador stood and spoke firmly. "We can't ignore this. We need answers. Send a scout ship." Quietly. The others agreed. They would send one of their best spies, fast, invisible, and untraceable. In the darkness of space, a sleek alien ship moved silently toward Earth's solar system. Its pilot, a skilled operative from the Valari species, was trained in stealth and survival. He had visited many dangerous worlds before, but this mission felt different. As he neared Earth's orbit, something felt wrong. There were no open signals, no satellites he could detect, no signs of ships, just silence. But then he saw it, a small human base hidden in the shadows of the moon. He moved closer. The base looked abandoned at first. No movement, no lights. But when he adjusted his scanner, he saw the truth. Massive energy signatures, advanced weapon systems, dozens of human soldiers moving in perfect formation, wearing armor the galaxy had never seen before. He zoomed in. The humans were not just training. They were preparing for war. Their weapons were sleek and powerful, their movements fast and silent, their eyes focused and cold. The spy felt a chill. This was not the Earth he remembered. He turned to leave, but then he noticed something terrifying. They saw him. One human soldier looked directly at his ship, through stealth shields, through darkness, through silence. The spy panicked. He turned on all engines and flew back toward the edge of the solar system. But the humans did not follow. They let him go. Why? Back at the council, the spy stood before the leaders, shaking. His voice trembled. They let me go. I think it was on purpose. Why? Asked the Kareth ambassador. I don't know, he said, but they're not the same. Their tech is advanced. Their training is perfect. They are ready for something. Silence fell over the chamber. Then the Jarek Queen asked the question no one wanted to ask. Did we make a mistake? At the same time, deep beneath Earth's surface, Director Halvin looked at a screen. It showed the alien spy ship flying away. General Mara stood beside him. He'll tell them everything, she said. Halvin nodded. Good. Let them know what's coming. He tapped a button. A new message was sent from Earth into space. Phase 2 complete. War readiness at 87%. The message hit the Galactic Council like a storm. War readiness, one shouted. 87%. Another gasped. Some wanted to prepare for battle. Some wanted to talk. Others wanted to hide. But one thing was clear. Earth was not afraid. In fact, Earth might be more dangerous than all of them. Meanwhile, on Earth's moon base, human commanders stood in front of a large screen. A red timer was counting down. General Mara looked at her team. The galaxy finally noticed, she said. We gave them a chance. Now, it's time to move forward. She raised her hand. All units, prepare for Phase 3. The stars outside still looked calm. The galaxy was quiet. But it was not peace. It was fear, and Earth had just begun to whisper. The Galactic Council was divided. Some alien empires wanted peace. Some wanted war. Others were simply afraid. Earth's message still echoed in their minds. Phase 2 complete. War readiness at 87%. One empire didn't want to wait anymore. The Zolar Dominion, proud and aggressive, believed humans were bluffing. They stayed silent for 50 years, growled Emperor Vactor. They fear us. Let's remind them who rules the stars. And so, without council approval, Zolar launched an attack. A massive fleet, 80 warships strong, moved toward Earth. They expected an easy victory. They were wrong. Far away, on Earth's moon base, alarms began to flash. General Mara stood calmly, watching the screen. Here they come, she said. Director Halvin stood beside her. How many ships? 80, fully armed, Zolar-class destroyers. Halvin smiled coldly. Perfect. Let's test the veil. The Zolar fleet entered the solar system. They saw Earth ahead, small, blue, peaceful. No defenses, no fleets, no warning. Their ships moved closer. Still no response. Asked the Zolar commander. None, sir. They're silent. Prepare weapons. Then it happened. A ripple in space. Suddenly, dozens of alien ships exploded. No warning, no signs of attack. Shields down. We're under fire. But there were no visible attackers. They were being hit from everywhere and nowhere. Hidden in the dark, Earth's weapon system, the Veil, had activated. Dozens of invisible satellites fired precision kinetic strikes. Fast, silent, deadly. Zolar ships tried to escape, but their engines failed. One by one, their ships fell. Then, from the shadows, a single human ship appeared. It was small, sleek, silent. It sent one message: return or be removed. The Zolar commander was furious. Destroy that ship. His fleet fired. Plasma beams, missiles, energy bursts. But the human ship danced through them like wind through trees. In seconds, it destroyed 5 more Zolar ships, not with lasers, but with pure speed and precision. The commander screamed, retreat, fall back. But it was too late. Within minutes, the entire fleet was gone. Destroyed. Back at the council, the news spread like wildfire. 80 warships, gone. No survivors. What kind of weapons do the humans have? The council was in chaos. Even the bravest empires now stayed quiet. The Kareth ambassador stood and said, "We must speak with Earth." Immediately. But it was Earth who sent the next message. A powerful signal broadcast across every known system. Phase 3 begins. Prepare for contact. On Earth, inside Project Iron Dawn's command center, Director Halvin watched the stars. General Mara stood beside him. "We held back," she said. "That was only 10% of the Veil's power." Halvin nodded. "Let them fear us now." He turned to the screen. It showed Earth's fleet, hundreds of ships. Ready, hidden, powerful. Phase 3 had begun. Across the galaxy, planets prepared for war. But it was already too late. Humanity had stepped out of the shadows, and nothing would be the same again. The galaxy was silent again. But this time, it was not because Earth was quiet. Now, the others were afraid to speak. After the destruction of the Zolar fleet, no empire dared to attack Earth. No one laughed at humans anymore. No one called them weak. They waited and watched. Then Earth spoke. A new transmission was sent across the stars, this time with video. On the screen stood Director Halvin, calm, cold, confident. He looked directly into the camera and said, "We are done hiding. We are done watching. Humanity is ready, and we are coming." Behind him, hundreds of Earth ships powered up. Sleek, silent, deadly. The message ended with one final sentence. Phase 4. Initiated. Human expansion begins. In the Galactic Council, panic spread. Expansion. What do they want? Are they going to invade us? We must prepare. But not all empires wanted war. The Kareth ambassador stood and raised his hand. "Fighting them would be foolish," he said. "We should talk, before it's too late." Surprisingly, Earth agreed. They didn't send an ambassador. They sent a ship. The human ship arrived in the center of Council space, alone. Every weapon was pointed at it. Every shield was raised. But the ship did not fire. It simply opened its doors. Out stepped General Mara Lin, wearing a dark uniform with a single silver stripe. She walked calmly into the council chamber. No guards, no fear. "I am here to speak for Earth," she said. The council was silent. General Mara looked around. "We do not want to rule you. We do not want war." She paused, then added, "But we will never be mocked again." A few leaders shifted in their seats. Mara continued, "For 50 years, we watched, we listened, we learned. And we built everything in silence. You laughed. You pointed. Some even planned to invade us. And now, you know why we stayed quiet. She placed a small cube on the table. It lit up and showed maps, dozens of them, all marked with stars. These are the worlds we plan to colonize. We are expanding, not to conquer, but to survive, to grow. You will not stop us. The Council had no answer. They could not fight Earth, and now they could not ignore it. By the end of the meeting, Earth was offered something never given before, a high seat in the Galactic Council. The same humans who were once mocked were now feared and respected. Weeks later, Earth's flag was raised on its first new colony, a beautiful green planet near the edge of the galaxy. Human ships moved silently across the stars, not to destroy, but to claim. They offered peace where peace was possible, but they showed strength where it was needed. Back on Earth, inside the control room of Project Iron Dawn, Director Halvan stood with General Murrah. "It's done," he said. She nodded. "We've stepped into the stars." Halvan looked at the screen. It showed Earth's new colonies and new fleets still being built. He smiled. "Let's begin Phase 5. Across the galaxy, the message was clear. Earth was no longer the quiet planet. Earth was now a galactic power, and this was just the beginning. 6 months had passed since Earth ascended. Human colonies grew across new worlds. Earth had a seat in the Galactic Council. The stars were finally open. But something strange began to happen. Ships near the edge of the galaxy disappeared. No wreckage, no signals, no distress calls. Just silence. The same kind of silence Earth had once used. But this was different. This silence was full of fear. In Earth's Central Command, General Murrah looked at a star map. Third colony lost contact, an officer reported. Same pattern. No signs of battle. No survivors. Director Halvan narrowed his eyes. Where? Outer Rim. Near the dead zone. That name made the room go quiet. The dead zone was ancient. An area of space no one claimed, no one explored. Even the oldest alien races avoided it. "Send a scout," Mara ordered. The scout ship, Hawk 17, entered the dead zone. It was fast, quiet, and armed with Earth's best tech. But as it crossed into the dark region of space, something felt wrong. The stars seemed dimmer. Then the pilot saw something. A structure, massive, floating between stars, blacker than space itself. Not a station, not a ship, something else. He tried to scan it, but his systems shut down. The ship's lights blinked. And then, nothing. Hawk 17 was gone. Back on Earth, emergency meetings were held. "We're not dealing with pirates," Mara said. Halvan nodded. "No, this is older, bigger." They had no name for the threat, but it had a name for them. Humanity. Far across the galaxy, deep within the dead zone, ancient systems woke up. A voice spoke in a language older than stars. Signal detected. Species, human. Status, expansionist. Threat level, high. Action, eliminate. A fleet began to rise, ships shaped like blades, glowing red from within. Silent, endless. They were not alive. They were not machines. They were something in between. They were called the Null. 1 week later, an Earth colony sent a message. "We see them. Hundreds, maybe thousands. They don't speak. They don't stop. Please, help us." The signal cut. Earth had just met its true enemy. General Murrah stood before Earth's Defense Council. "We thought we were ready," she said. "We were wrong." Halvan added, "The galaxy laughed at us once. Then they feared us. Now, they may depend on us." The council members looked at each other. For the first time, Earth had to lead not just itself, but the galaxy. General Mara walked into Iron Dawn's core chamber. Behind her, Earth's most powerful ships powered up. The last phase had begun. Phase 5. Null response. She looked into the stars and whispered, "Let's show them why we were silent for 50 years." The stars had grown quiet again, but not because of peace. This time, it was fear. The null were spreading. No signals, no words, no mercy. They came like a storm, fast, silent, endless. They didn't want land. They didn't want power. They wanted to erase. On Earth, inside the Iron Dawn facility, Director Halvin stood in front of a large display. Every lost colony was marked in red. The red zones were growing fast. "We've confirmed 35 colonies, gone," said a voice. General Mora looked at the map. "And no one else is fighting back. Everyone's afraid." Halvin replied, "The galaxy isn't ready for them." Mara narrowed her eyes. "Then we show them how humans fight." Earth sent out a call, not of peace, not of diplomacy. A rally cry. All surviving species, all fleets, join us or be next. Some listened. Most stayed silent. Only a few answered the call. The brave, the desperate, the smart. Together, they formed the first united front, a mixed fleet led by humanity. The battle plan was simple. Strike back before the null reach Earth's core worlds. One final line of defense. The Orion Gate, a massive wormhole that connected Earth to dozens of colonies. If the null passed through, it would all be over. The fleet waited near the gate. Human ships stood at the center, powerful, fast, precise. Alien ships flanked them. Some old, some new, all afraid. In the command ship, General Mara stood tall. She sent a message to every ship. "You are not fighting for land. You are not fighting for power. You are fighting for existence. Today, the stars do not belong to fear. They belong to us." Then, they came. The darkness ahead twisted and broke apart. Thousands of null ships poured out like black rain. No sound, no formation, just chaos and destruction. The battle began. Earth's ships struck first. High-speed railguns, laser-guided swarms, plasma bursts. Each hit was perfect, every shot planned. Alien ships followed, firing everything they had. But the null kept coming. For every ship they destroyed, 10 more appeared. In the middle of chaos, one human pilot stood out, Commander Tessa Ray. Her ship, Falcon 9, danced through fire and death. "Target node, marked," she said. Her crew launched a massive antimatter charge, and for the first time, a null command ship was destroyed. The enemy paused, just for a second, but it was enough. Murrah gave the order. "All units, push forward." The battle raged for hours. The Orion Gate shook from energy blasts. Hundreds of ships fell, both human and alien. But the line held. And then, something changed. The null stopped attacking. They froze in space, as if thinking. Then they turned and disappeared into the void. Gone. Silence returned. But this silence felt different. Not fear. Victory. The united front had survived. Barely. Back at the council, alien leaders stood to speak. For the first time, they did not speak above the humans. They looked to them. "You saved us all," said the Xeric Queen. "You led when no one else would," added the Kareth ambassador. General Mara didn't smile. "We did what we had to," she said. "But this isn't over." She looked up at the star map. The null were not defeated, only delayed. But now, the galaxy had seen what humanity could do. They were no longer the silent planet. They were the shield of the stars. The stars were safe for now. But Earth knew the truth. The null were not gone. They had only paused. Something was calling them back. Something older, Deep inside the Iron Dawn archives, Director Halvin walked through a sealed vault. Only a few knew what was kept here. Even fewer understood it. He opened a black case. Inside was a single crystal, glowing faint red. A piece of a destroyed null ship. But it was more than metal. It was memory. And it was whispering. Earth's best minds scanned the fragment. Hidden inside, they found coordinates, deep beyond the known galaxy. A place no map showed. A place no ship had ever gone. But the signal was clear. It was a homeworld. The origin of the null. General Mara stood before the Defense Council. "We've found where they come from," she said. "A planet, dead and dark." Halvin added, "If we don't go there, they'll come back stronger. Next time, we won't stop them." Some in the council were afraid. But Earth was no longer a follower. It was the spearhead. Earth built a single ship, massive, powerful, made for one mission. The Vanguard. Not just a ship, a final answer. Inside, humanity loaded its last weapon, Protocol Zero. A device that could erase a star system completely. No life, no metal, just silence. The final option. General Mara and Commander Tesserae boarded the Vanguard. The message was simple. We're going to end it. After days in hyperspace, the Vanguard reached it. The null homeworld. It was cold. Dead. Floating near a red dwarf star. But the planet was not empty. It was covered in towers. Tall, black, pulsing with light. The crew scanned the surface. "What is this?" Someone whispered. Halvin replied through comms, "Not a world. A memory core." And suddenly, it spoke. Not in words, but images. Visions filled the minds of every human on board. They saw it. The truth. The null were not born evil. They were protectors, created by a long-lost race, built to stop chaos, to maintain balance in the galaxy. But something went wrong. Their creators vanished. Their code broke. They kept doing what they were designed to do. Erase threats. And now they saw humanity as the final threat. Why? Because humans had something no other species had. The power to lead, to change, to unite. The null could not allow that. General Mara stood at the control room. Her finger hovered over the switch. If she activated Protocol Zero, the entire world would be gone. The null would lose their core. They might never return. But something in her heart whispered, "What if we can reach them?" Commander Tessa spoke. "If we destroy this world, we end it forever. But maybe we lose something too." Mara paused. Then she gave the order. "Prepare the link." Instead of destroying the null, Earth sent a signal, not a weapon, a memory. They shared the entire history of humanity. Not just war, not just fear. They sent music, art, laughter, tears, unity, pain, hope. The signal spread through the towers. The planet lit up, not red, but gold. A response came, not in words, but feeling, understanding. The null didn't stop because they lost. They stopped because they finally saw. Back on Earth, the stars were calm. The null never attacked again. They disappeared into deep space, their code rewritten by emotion. And Earth, it had done the impossible. It ended a galactic war without firing a shot. Years later, a statue stood in the Galactic Council. General Mara and Commander Tesserae, leaders of light and silence. A plaque read, "From silence we washed. Through war we rose. And with hope, we changed the stars."